Okay, we do have a quorum and it's now 7 o'clock, so I'll call the meeting to order. First item on business is the adoption of the agenda. The adoption of the agenda. We do have an in-camera item tonight. So any questions on the agenda or additions? Seeing none. Declaration of conflict of interest or pecuniary interest. Anyone? None. Item 4, delegations, presentations, or petitions. 4.1 is a presentation on the Economic Development Strategy 2020-22 Priority Review. I believe that's Director Chalice. If you'd like to go ahead.
Sure. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, so just quickly, I'm going to mute and share my screen, and you can verbally let me know if you can see it. Grant has to let me share my screen.
You should be able to.
Okay, we can see it now, Jackie.
You can see it?
Yep, I can anyway.
Great. So thanks, everyone. I'm going to just go through these slides quickly. I know it was already included in your package. Really, I'm just setting the foundation, but the discussion today really is with council and for you guys to review the priorities as a council and not for me, but I'll just set the stage in terms of how we got to where we are today. So as you know, in 2015, the town of Inuvik looked at the economic development strategy. So just today, I'm just going to go over an overview of that strategy, the process that they took to find some of their key priorities at the time. I'll tell you what those findings were. We'll look at the objectives as they are now, the timeline to get to where we are today, and then council can review your own priorities now. Back quite a few years ago, actually every community in the Beaufort Delta had completed a local economic development strategy. ITI had funded those. In 2014, you could see council approved that budget, so we went ahead and we hired a firm. In order to develop the strategy, they of course do sort of a secondary research and environmental scan, looking at a number of existing documents as well as statistical data that's available both at the federal level and local and territorial. They also held a public open house, quite a few stakeholder interviews, an online survey, and a number of focus groups, including one with council at the time. Now, again, thinking of 2015, these were the key findings. Building the knowledge economy, so really the satellite station, some of that facility was just starting to come online. The second one there, of course, the ITH didn't open until 2017, but they knew that would be a particular strength. Looking at tourism, natural resources, scientific research opportunities, looking at education assets, looking at a feasibility of a business incubator, and a focus on arts and crafts. So these were some of the guiding principles that when they spoke with the stakeholders and in the focus groups, this is what residents and the people that participated said that sort of built the foundation of which the strategy would grow further. Really, they wanted to diversify the local economy, support small business, improve the quality of life. Of course, the cost of living, as we know, is significant. One of the elements there, that number 4, is how we developed the role of the special events coordinator, is because looking at the increasing amount of work that the department was doing so that the director could spend their time looking at funding and longer term strategic objectives, and that the team could undergo current programs and services. It was important that we align with territorial and regional initiatives and leverage collaborative efforts where we can. It was important to increase employment opportunities for local Indigenous folks, and of course, tourism and attracting visitors. So they came up with 5 sectors. You can see them there: natural resources, northern sciences, tourism, arts, crafts, local food, and small business and entrepreneurship. So again, just quickly, when in 2010, when the for the gas tax, the Inuvik Community Sustainability Plan moved forward, we got funding. The strategy was developed in 2015. In 2017, the new council at the time worked on the strategic plan. In 2019, the new council, just like we did in February with this particular council, developed their own strategic priorities, and of that was to actually look at the economic development strategy and review it sector by sector. So you can see that a committee was formed as a committee of council, an economic development committee, and that committee took each sector and broke it down and reviewed the priorities that came from 2015 and figured what was still relevant and where they wanted to focus the efforts. And so now that's very similar to where we are today in 2022. So really when we look, and I know you already received this handout, what we want to look at is you're welcome certainly to comment or give comment or feedback on activities and planned activities, but really the goal of today, I think, for council is just to make sure that those key objectives at the high level are still where council wants to go. So I will leave it from here for council to discuss. The only thing I will say is that tourism is certainly a large sector, and at the next set of meetings, we're actually going to review the tourism strategy as a whole and break that down even more. So not to say you can't discuss tourism today, but just know that a larger, more in-depth conversation of that particular sector is coming up at the next set of meetings. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and now this basically turns over to council for you to discuss, and I'm just here to listen. Thank you very much.
I'm sorry, I forgot to unmute myself. Anyway, any questions for Director Chalice? Any questions on the priorities? We agree with the priorities. Councillor Devlin, you agree?
I do agree with the priorities. Yes.
Great,
No, I just wanted to thank Director Chalice as well. I think she did an amazing presentation just now and gave us a really great overview. And I'm feeling very good with the direction she and her department have been going in. So, and I think we're still those five pillars are still very relevant today. So thank you.
I think she put a lot of work into that report, and I certainly appreciate it as well. Thank you for saying that, Councillor Devlin. Any other comments? So we'll accept the priorities as they're presented. Thank you. Moving on. Public question period, item 5. Any questions from the public, SAO Hood, that you know of?
I have not heard any.
Okay, thank you. Item 6.1, minutes of the February 21st and 23rd council meetings. Any questions, corrections? Seeing none. 7.1, the action items list. Any questions on the action items? I do have one question under item 4. Inuvik Girl Guides, donated use to be reviewed on or before March the 1st. Do we know if the school has opened up their facilities yet? I would assume not, but.
I don't know that they have yet. I don't know if the Director of Community Services has any other information, whether the Girl Guides have contacted her or not.
Director Summer, have you heard anything?
No, there hasn't been any movement with respect to the schools opening up to the public. I know that the Girl Guides, they didn't use in January because everything was shut down. And most of February, I believe, too. They may have only used one night. And then they're off now for March break. So they're not anticipating coming back until after March break, if they can, like if council has no problems with that. I know that facility side, we have no issues either. They've been really good to deal with. If we have to bump them from the hall, they're more than happy to go up into the lounge. So we've been able to facilitate them as much as we can. And I believe we've only had one date that we had bookings in both the hall and the lounge that we weren't able to host them. But they're very appreciative of being able to use it whenever they can.
Great, thank you for that. We'll review it, I guess, at the end of the month when school is back in. I don't think council has any problem with maintaining the status quo for now. No objections? Okay. Item 8, new business. There is none. Councillor Devlin.
Yeah, thanks, Mayor. Just on the action items, I'm just wondering if we can perhaps knock number 1 off of the list, or we can have a discussion about knocking number 1 off the list. It's just one. It's sort of the big elephant in the room sitting there right now. And with things changing at all sorts of levels, I'm just curious about that. Thank you.
I agree. Any other comments on that? Everybody in agreement or disagree?
So I guess, sorry, it says I would here, just to clarify, Councillor Devlin, that we could take item number 1 off, and I totally agree with that from an administration point of view, since everybody else seems to be reversing all their policies now as far as vaccination statuses and stuff like that go. I just want to cut clarification on it. That's council's wishes. We can take it off.
Yeah, we have no disagreement, SAO Hood, so I think it's safe to take that one off.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, item 9, no bylaws. Item 10, department head reports. 10.1, public services report. Director Campbell.
What about it? Sorry.
Did you want to present your report?
No.
Okay.
I believe if there's questions for the directors on the reports, is how we usually handle it.
Okay. Any questions for Director Campbell? Seeing none. 10.2, economic and development and tourism report. Any questions? 10.3, capital projects report. Any questions on that? 10.4, the financial report. Any questions? 10.5, community service department. Any questions on that one? Thank you. Item 11, information items. We have our strategic priorities chart. Any questions? Okay, under the now items, we have the tourism strategy as presented tonight. We started doing the tripartite leadership table. We got the Quitchin in a meeting, both Kelly and Ken. So that was a start. Now we'll work on the Inuvik, and maybe we can get all 3 of us in the same room at some point. That's the only updates I have at the moment. Any questions? None? We have two research projects from the Research Institute. Don't ask any questions on those because I don't have the answers. Anyway, that's item number 12, council concerns. Anything? Okay, I need a motion to go in camera with Director
Excuse
Campbell.
me.
Yes.
Excuse me. I need, I believe Director of Community Services has her hand up for a reason. I don't know
Okay.
if you-
Oh, yeah, I see that. Lise, you had a question?
Not really a question, just an info item for council. Today we just received confirmation that we've been approved for our funding application with that we made for the under the New Horizons for Seniors program. So the project that we had submitted, we've received $25,000 in funding for. So we hope to move forward with that project come the beginning of April.
Oh, good show. Good job. Thank you. Anything else?
Mayor Wood, I have a
Yes.
question.
Councillor Harder.
At the rec center, they need to update their website. There's just some miscommunication on hours for different events that are happening there. So that just needs to
Okay.
be addressed.
We'll make a note of that.
I have a question, Donovan here.
Yes. Councillor Airy.
For Grant, didn't Richard bring up anything about a food trailer for IRC weekend?
I have been away for a week, but I believe quickly scanning my emails, there is something in there about it. I know that the MSC and the director are aware of it and don't have any issues. I just need to confirm a couple of things, but I know that there is an email there. I just haven't, being away for the last week, I have not had a chance to respond.
Okay, thank you.
Anything further? Okay, seeing none, I need a motion to go in camera.
Okay, point of order, Mr. Mayor. We need, under what section of the CTV Act, for the record, because this wasn't on the agenda, so it's a little new, we need to know what section of the CTV Act that you're going in camera under. That has to be part of the of what so that people
Okay,
know.
I suggest we move it to Wednesday night because I can't discuss it in public.
Okay,
That agreeable? Okay, we'll move it to Wednesday night. I need a motion to adjourn. Councillor Gallon, seconded by. Seconded. Okay, Councillor Merrill.